My best friend is getting married in 4 weeks but just told me she loves me more than her fiance and hopes I feel the same way. My friend, let's call her Bree, 35F, just told me she loves me 4 weeks before her wedding, and I, 35M, am not sure if I'm doing the right thing. Something to note about myself is that I lost my wife 2 years ago and I have a 5-year-old daughter. I have not dated in the last 2 years because I have major trauma from losing my wife. I still love her a lot and don't think I'm ready to move on. I invested all my time in my daughter, who looks exactly like her mother, and my work to keep my sanity for the last 2 years. As for Bree, we have been best friends since we were in elementary school, and we lived in the same neighborhood growing up. She is an awesome person, and we were inseparable as kids. The weirdest part was that we had completely different personalities. She was very outgoing and always had a lot of friends, while I was a big introvert, and Bree, along with a few friends, was all I needed. Bree was a serial dater, and I don't remember any time since middle school when she was single. Bree and I never dated though. When college came around, we also went to the same place. She never had a stable boyfriend but just jumped from one relationship to another. I, on the other hand, did not date seriously until I was in my junior year. When I met my wife, she was a freshman, and we hit it off instantly. We fell for each other and spent all our time together. This strained my relationship with Bree, as I would generally hang out with my wife instead of her, and that was the time we slowly started drifting apart. After college, I moved to a different town for my job, and Bree and I occasionally messaged each other, but nothing beyond that. She attended my wedding, and that was the last time I saw her. We kept in touch, but mostly by commenting on each other's pictures or keeping each other updated on significant life events. She did reach out to me when my wife passed away, and we talked for a bit on the phone. Last year, Bree and her fiance, let's call him Jason, 33M, moved to my city. I was still grieving, and both had been amazing support for me and my daughter. My daughter loves dancing, and Bree helped me enroll her in dancing and gymnastics classes and sometimes takes her to them. I also became good friends with her fiance, who is indeed an incredibly good man. My daughter also loves Andy Bree, and Bree sometimes helps me babysit. Last week, Bree came to my house and asked if we could talk. Her tone sounded serious. She told me that over the last few months, she feels like she has started to develop feelings for me and is not sure anymore if she wants to go ahead with the wedding, and she felt I also had started developing feelings for her. I told her that I was not ready for any kind of relationship before getting my mental health in check, which I'm regularly seeing a therapist for, and she tried to convince me that she loved me, we are soulmates, and she felt that we were meant to be together. Despite that, I just do not have the same feelings for her. I love her as a friend, but nothing beyond that. We were both emotional, but she said she was glad we talked about this, and she left after that. She called me that night and told me not to talk to anyone about our conversation. I thought a lot about it, and I decided that I would not tell Jason, as I feel it's their relationship, and I do not have the right to ruin their moment if Bree decides to go ahead with the wedding, but I feel guilty that her fiancé does not know anything about this and is going into a marriage where Bree might not be fully ready for it. It's been eating at me. Am I wrong for not telling her fiancé about our conversation? Update 1. Thank you everyone who commented on my previous post, it really helped me think about the situation thoroughly. The guilt was weighing on me heavily, and I finally called Bree after a few days and asked her to meet me for lunch. I talked to her and asked her if she was going ahead with her wedding. She broke down and told me she was not sure. I told her that she should at least talk to Jason regarding her feelings and not be dishonest with him. I also assured her that I would not say anything to Jason, but I just wanted her to be happy. She said she understood and left. That night, I put my daughter to sleep and was watching TV. Around 9:30 p.m., I heard a loud knock on my door, and it was Jason. I opened the door, and he was in tears. He started yelling at me and asking me why I had to steal Bree out of all the people. I tried to calm him down, but he just kept on shouting. I told him my daughter was sleeping upstairs, but he slowly was getting more and more physical. He ended up socking me in the face, but I was able to push him off the porch, and he left to get in his truck and drove away. I immediately called Bree, and she was crying and did not sound well on the phone. She told me that she could not marry Jason because of her feelings for me, and I was scared for her after what just happened with Jason, so I told her to gather some clothes and get out of the house. She did that and came to my place, and I consoled her for almost 2 hours before she fell asleep. The next morning, we had to call her parents to let them know about what had happened. Bree kept a brave face. I could see how much she was hurting. Her parents asked her to take a few days off and immediately come back home, and she did take a flight in the evening to go home. Over the next 2 weeks, the wedding was called off. Bree and I were talking every day, and she was just very exhausted. She talked to Jason a few times, and he kept on asking her to take more time to think, but I think Bree just wanted to get out of it and decided to break it off with Jason. Currently, Bree has been staying with us for the last 2 weeks. She still has a job here and started going back to work last week. I have talked to her in detail about what happened, and Bree told me that she and Jason had been dating on and off for the last 4 years. Jason is not very career-oriented, and Bree is very good at her job. She felt he was a nice and reliable person but was unsure about him from the start. She felt that she was not getting any younger, and hence they decided to get married. When she heard about my wife passing away, she just felt really bad and wanted to be around me to comfort me. When she got her big promotion, which meant she could work in a corporate office, she immediately chose my city and moved here. Jason also moved here and got a new job. She never had any romantic feelings for me back then, but as she started hanging out with my daughter and me, she started feeling the bond we shared when we were growing up. Except, I was the broken one, and she was taking care of me. She said that she realized that she was enjoying her time with us more than with Jason, and she realized she made a mistake with Jason, that what she wanted was right in front of her. Hence, she slowly started thinking about me in that way and finally told me about it. She knew her relationship with Jason was over the moment she confessed to me. It's a crappy situation, but I am glad that she realized that before getting married versus after. As for Jason, I feel bad for him. He is moving back to our hometown closer to his family. He is currently in their apartment and will move sometime next month. I know many of you would be curious if we were dating, and we are not dating. I don't think I can date anyone right now, and neither should Bree. She is my friend, and I am happy that she is staying with us and plans to be here until everything is sorted out. My daughter loves having Auntie Bree around too, so that's a bonus. Plus, it's really nice to see her slowly getting back to normal. Thanks again for helping me during my last post.